Hello, I'm Kyle Smith, stock Honda driver for Checkered Motorsports in the SKUSA Pro Tour, and I'm currently in Frankfurt, Germany, on the way to Milan, Italy, to spend some time with the PCR Factory and to turn some laps with the PCR Factory team. Now, along the way, I hope not just to show you the factory and their home track of Busca on the western coast of Italy, but much, much more. So come and join me for a weekend with the Scuderia. Good afternoon from Busca International Circuit. We've had about a half day of testing underneath our belts. Some new chassis, not just for myself, but also the factory, and a couple of other things on the testing order. It's a little bit rainy, so it's a good opportunity to get some rain weather testing in. That's not stopping us. We got carts on track, for example, right here. Little rough start to the morning, had a shunt. My fault completely, I'll admit it. It's been 6 months since I've been in a go-kart, so it was a little bit rough of an experience. Bent the steering column, switched to a different chassis, felt a lot more comfortable. You're having some good times here on the rain. And the sun is finally starting to peek its way through, and we're gonna get some dry weather testing in for the rest of the day, and it should be dry tomorrow too, so you know, good things coming up. So good little warm-up, good little morning, but a lot more ahead. So it's Monday now, the test is concluded, and I'm back in Milan with the team now, and I'm visiting both their production facility for their chassis and also where they're putting the frames together. So right now I'm at what is a car dealership slash kart dealership. As you can see, the parts are all here in different bins, and the chassis are then mounted here and produced and ready to go for racing. But the frames are actually made in a separate facility that we will be seeing shortly. And yeah, we'll be going to the actual factory. If you want to say hi, this is Daniel. This is my mechanic for the weekend.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao, hello. Yeah. Parts. Brackets. So yes, the bare frames come here, and then from there they are put together. For the US, a couple of parts are put together, such as the brakes, no brake fluids, but the brakes, spindles, a couple of other things. But yeah, they come here as bare frames and are put together for racing here in Europe, or also distribution across the world. So we're gonna go see the other part of the facility that actually produces the frames, welds them shortly. So you just saw inside where they're actually putting the carts together. Saw a lot of parts, but only 2 carts. But if you want to see all the frames before they actually make their way in there, here you can see all of the frames, different styles, as you can see, different bends, different things to test, different markets for the US, for Europeans, and yeah, it's very fascinating how everything works so that PCR is competitive over the entire world. So we're here at the factory now, we're in the office area. There's a lot of cool murals and pictures from past drivers. One that stands out besides Antonio Giovinazzi and some of the trophies is this man right here, Kimi Räikkönen. Hey, so you got a Formula 1 driver on our chassis in the past. We've also got a picture of Robbie Busdozo here in the factory. Supernationals in 2014. And much more here. So very cool design of the factory here in the main areas you come in. So again, a picture of Kimi. And we've got another Formula 1 driver's chassis here, Giancarlo Fisichella's chassis. And again, much more accolades from the legendary PCR chassis, Nicky Hayden, Stoner, and trophies alike. So, okay. A very impressive office area. And one last thing before we leave this and head to the manufacturing parts is a nice little tribute to Hayat Fonsana. So now we're going from the office section over here to enter the actual factory itself. It's not in full production today after the day of testing, but you'll get to see a little bit more of what goes on here at the PCR Factory and how they're made. So we have Danielle again, my mechanic again, Mario, the founder of PCR, and they'll take us around the factory. So
where that before was.
I think. So here we have the production facilities for certain parts, such as cassettes and much more. Not just for the senior go-karts, but also the junior go-karts.
Quello nuovo new. La levo di qua. Adesso glielo faccio. Piantoni.
Side pods, yes. Other parts for side pods and bodywork, support bodywork and much. Brake discs and much more. Every section is a little bit different in what parts they create. And here is where some of the chassis are welded together, the tubing. So here, and here as well, and over here as well. So they each table is for different chassis. So the MX-8, the one that is very dominant, won 5 national championships in tag in the US, was welded right here. And other chassis, such as the junior chassis, can be welded here.
Vieni a vedere il disegno della leva nuova. La leva nuova è bellissima, cioè, la sai che Michelle l'ha fatta, l'ha così imbastita, cazzo. Sì, non sono andato sul suo, tanto solo. L'abbiamo fatta, abbiamo dato un pianto
Unfortunately today, my English and or German translator had to work at the other facility, so I can't quite describe everything here for you because everything is told to me in Italian and I can only understand bits and pieces, but I hope you at least enjoy seeing the factory and seeing where the chassis are made and where the head honcho, the boss, does his work. And you can see that he is doing designs, R&D on pieces of carts. That was the steering wheel, the clutch. Whether it's cosmetic or performance-based, Mario is still here doing the designs for chassis, so whether it's parts or the actual frames themselves. Before leaving the factory, we're getting put to work a little bit, delivering parts to the other section of the factory, as I said, where they actually put the carts together. This will all be avoided come June when they have one big facility, which they will be doing everything in. So in June, their new factory will be completely built and they'll be able to build everything from the chassis to the actual complete rolling carts all in one facility. So right before my flight, I had the opportunity to come to what is, you know, the Augusta for golf, the Monaco to F1, the Gold's Gym for bodybuilders. and it is Lonato. I had the opportunity to come to South Garden karting here, and actually this is the new section and the new turn that was built just this year. So yeah, it is quite incredible to come here, as it is really one of the most famous tracks in the world, I'd say. I mean, you think as an American, you think of Italy, you think of Lonato, you think of La Conca. So it's quite unreal to be here. Unfortunately, we could not test this weekend here as there was a race, but it is still a really cool opportunity to see this track. Incredible facility, and the new paved parts, I'm not a fan of the design of it compared to the old track, but perfectly paved, perfectly done, world-class facility, and it's really cool to end my journey here. Unfortunately, we're not racing here, but maybe in the future. So back in my humble abode, my dorm room here in Marburg, Germany. It's a bit messy, but I'm quite busy traveling, schoolwork, work, etc. Ramping up for Springnats here soon. Anyhow, I'd like to take just a minute or two to thank many of the people that made this possible, along with recap the final day of the test. So the final day of the test, we got a much drier track, and we were able to actually get to within 6-7 tenths of a very competitive time on a rubbered up track. And as you'll see in the video of the lap right after this, there's still some wet spots on the track, so we felt that was a very competitive pace given what we were given track condition-wise. But yeah, to thank the people that made this possible, I'd love to thank the factory for their hospitality, you know, not just being able to test with them to see the factory, but Danielle and Sylvia for welcoming me into their home, Cesare for everything as well, Checker Motorsports PCR USA supported me since 2009, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And also my family as well, along with Tim Shada, a good friend of mine who let me use his GoPro to document this journey and also my journey to Springnats. So thank you, Tim. And yeah, thank you to everyone who supported me along the way, and anyone who's checked in on this video and this blog. So I hope you enjoyed following my journey in Italy. I look forward to seeing you all in Phoenix, and enjoy the lap of Busca International Circuit.